but we know what it would mean to everybody at home. We know what it would mean to us as a squad, the hard work that's gone in, not just this group of players, but players that have been with us for the last 6 or 7 years who've played a massive part in this journey with us, and all of the staff that have been involved. It's really been a huge team effort. All of those people have helped create the culture that we have, and we would love to give everybody a special night again tomorrow.
A question for Harry, Pierre from newspaper L'Équipe. Harry, did you think these last 2 hours about in which extent your career and maybe your life could change if you lift the trophy tomorrow?
Yeah, I think you try not to think too much about that side of it. It's, of course, I know what it'd mean to me, and I know what it'd mean to our country if we won the final. So of course you have that in your mind, and you use that as motivation to try and be successful tomorrow. But I think it's hard because when we're here and we've been away, you're kind of in your own bubble, you're kind of in your own environment, and of course you see the videos and you see the fans when you arrive to games. But I think it's really hard to tell, what's going on back in England. But I'm sure it's fantastic to be a part of. So from my point of view, it's more just I'm extremely excited for the opportunity to make a lot of people, including myself, happy tomorrow night. And it's going to be a big battle. So we're going to give it everything we got. And at midnight tomorrow night, or whenever the game will finish, we really hope to be the team that's bring a trophy to England.
Ben Miltner for RAN. I have a question for both of you. In '96, Germany won the European Championship in England. Tomorrow, 28 years later, you're playing here in Germany in the final. Do you believe in fate?
But you can answer that one. You was around in '96. I was only 3.
I was around, very much around. Probably one of the more popular Englishmen in Berlin, I would imagine. So. Look, I'm not a believer in fairy tales, but I am a believer in dreams. And we've had big dreams. We've felt the need and the importance of that. But then, you have to make those things happen. And fate, the run that we've had, the late goals, the penalties, that doesn't equate to us. It being our moment. We have to make it happen tomorrow. We have to perform at the level that we need to perform. So, of course, it would be a lovely story, but it's in our hands and our performance that is the most important thing.
Harry, Rob Harrison, Sky News. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
You've grown up as a fan. You've seen all the fans over the years with coming so close. How desperate are you to win it for them, who spent so many weeks out here, invested so much to follow the team? And have you spoken to the Lionesses about how winning a trophy like this can change the whole mindset?
Yeah, I think that from the fans' point of view, we was all fans growing up, England fans, and we know we had some great moments in tournaments, but we couldn't quite get there. And from my point of view, just with a fan's head on, I know it'd be an incredible night if we do achieve what we want to achieve tomorrow. In terms of the Lionesses, I haven't spoke to anyone. Obviously, what they achieved was incredible, and you saw how it brought the nation together in that moment. So we're hoping to do the same, and we have that opportunity tomorrow.
Hi, here Alejandro Diago for One Football. Question for both. We are talking about you're facing one of the Spanish teams that has been playing better in the last weeks. We have seen in this tournament. What is your biggest concern about the Spanish team? What is your biggest worry right now, 24 hours before the final?
Not so much concern, but my observations on the team would be that they have a very clear way of playing. A very settled team. They press really well with real intensity. Of course, like all Spanish teams, they keep possession of the ball exceptionally well. So, you have to be very well organised in the way that you play. But we've also kept the ball really well in the last few matches. In particular, we're showing our real selves and the side of ourselves, the version of ourselves that we wanted to bring into this tournament. That's been starting to come over the last 3 matches. So I thought we played very, very well against Netherlands, and that's our intention again tomorrow night.
Paul Joyce, The Times. Harry, when you look around the dressing room at your teammates, what feeling do you get from them? What sort of sense do they give you?
Yeah, I think there's been of course, before every tournament you have to have a belief you can win it, otherwise there's no point being in the tournament. But I think that belief has grown as we've gone through the tournament. I think kind of what we've been through with the late goals and the penalty shootouts and all that stuff builds resilience, it builds belief. So I think, I think the team is obviously confident, but I think it's like every game. We prepare in the same way. We know every team we're going to face is going to be difficult, so we never take anything for granted. But we know we have a lot of great players in the team. We know we have a great togetherness, and we're going to need all of that and more to be successful. So from my point of view, it's great to be a part of. It's great to have that feeling. I'm sure come tomorrow night there'll be a few nerves, there'll be excitement, but ultimately when you step out on that pitch, it's just doing your job and doing what we've done throughout the whole tournament.
Hi, Gareth, Mitch Phillips from Reuters. A lot of people on the outside and fans were obviously hugely impressed with the Netherlands game and kind of changed their view. How much did it change anything for you, or did you think this is what we knew we can do, or was it an eye-opener?
No, I think we've had to find a different way of playing as the tournament's progressed. When we came into the tournament, we had a lot of issues, particularly at the back. In actual fact, a lot of players who had missed a lot of football. Towards the end of the season, John Stones hardly played for Manchester City. He's been absolutely exceptional. Mark Gay and Kieran Trippier, Luke Shaw, all out injured for months coming towards the end of the season. We've been trying to find the right blend and balance all the way through the summer, really. Lots of little issues to solve, trying to find the best balance for our attacking players because we've got super talent, but a lot that like to operate in similar areas. And we feel we've started to find that balance as the tournament has progressed. So I've really liked how we've looked. We look dangerous. We look like we can score goals again. And I'm happy where the team are at going into this game.
Question for Gareth from NRK Norway. You have a great penalty taker next to you, of course, but what's been the key for you to perform better at penalties, and who do you think deserves credit for that?
Well, a lot of people involved. In the end, I believe it's a skill to be performed under pressure that you can practice and that you can improve. We've wanted to take control of those processes, feel in charge of it. It's obviously helped by the fact that this time around we've got a lot more players that take penalties regularly for their clubs. But nevertheless, we've now won 3 of our last 4, which is a big shift from where we were, where we'd won 1 in 7, I think. So, a lot of people have been involved. A lot of people can take a lot of satisfaction in that piece of work. And again, we have to be ready in case that's needed tomorrow.
Harry, I'm Carlo Tasler. Harry, last summer you moved to Germany. People in England started watching Bundesliga. They finally found out there is football outside the Premier League. Now, a year later, you are here in Berlin, almost a shared treasure between England and Germany. Do you have a feeling that perhaps this project, Berlin, started last summer already for you personally?
I mean, it's hard to say. I didn't move to Bayern Munich because of the Euros being in Germany, but the support I've had since I've been in Germany has been incredible throughout the whole season with Bayern and even here in the tournament. Every hotel we go to, every stadium, I really feel the warmth and the support, not just from the English fans, but from the German fans as well. And I'm really appreciative of that. And I'm sure there's a few German fans who are wishing me well tomorrow. And as a professional, all I can say is thank you, because it means a lot to me. It motivates me even more to give back to all the fans that support me throughout my whole career. And I've had the guys at Bayern, staff and players messaging me as well and wishing me luck. So there's a lot of people that support me throughout my career, and tomorrow's a great opportunity to say thanks to a lot of them.
Hello, question for Harry. I'm here. Hello, Harry. Hortense Leblanc from the French website France Info. I'm sorry to ask a question like this, but you've never won a trophy. If it was possible, would you accept to exchange all your top scorer trophy against this Euro? And is this an extra pressure for you? Thank you.
Sorry, to swap the trophies for the Euros?
If
I had the opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, of course, it's no secret, that I haven't won a team trophy, and every year that goes by, you're more motivated and you're more determined to change that. And tomorrow night I have the opportunity to win, one of the biggest you could ever win, and to make history with my nation, which I'm extremely proud to be English. So no question, I'd swap everything I've done in my career to have a special night and a win tomorrow evening. But that's not the case. So there's a lot of hard work from now until that moment. But I'm really determined to make tomorrow night a special one.
Hi, question for Gareth. Abraham Romero for Spain, El Mundo. You played in the quarter-final of the Euros 1996 against Spain. What do you remember about that game? And I don't know if it's any player that you remember from that match. Spanish player, of course.
I played well. 0-0, defender's dream. We obviously won that game on penalties. Nadal is the player who sticks in my mind from that game in particular. Maybe Kiko played as well, I think, and maybe Luis Enrique in that team on the bench. So I remember it was a very tough game, probably a game Spain should have won, and important day for England. Our games with Spain have always been close, always difficult. Spain then hadn't had the success that they've had since, and of course won so many trophies. So we've met Spain a lot at youth level as well in a lot of finals. So we know that their development of young players has been excellent for a long time. We've followed the project very closely, seen lots of the players that are in the team now play at junior levels. But our junior teams have also been developing and improving, and now we're starting to see those players come into the senior team as well. So I think two nations that are on a good pathway in terms of now and the future.
A question for Harry, Ethan Finn from Football Cafe Media China. So some of the players in the two teams are familiar with each other. So to what extent have you talked about your opponents among the team, like share insights about how to defend them or attack them?
Yeah, not too much. Of course, there's players that know each other from both teams, but I think the way we prepare is the same for every game, and for threats that the team have, and some players like to look at individual clips of their opponents and who they're coming up against. So you're always talking as players anyway, just in general of the game ahead and the teammates that you might know a bit more about. But ultimately, each player does what they want to do and prepares the way they want to prepare. And then as a team, we look at everything that we can, and then ultimately that's how we prepare for games.
Hi Gareth, this is Arthur Rennert from Holland. I'm curious, how do you look to the last 8 years since you have been appointed to the major developments and also to the mental resilience you increased? Like, how do you, in a nutshell, look to that?
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to go through difficult nights as a team. We tried to change the mindset from the start. We tried to be more honest about where we were as a football nation. You know, I've travelled to World Cups, European Championships, watching as an observer, and watched highlights reels before the matches that are on the big screens, and we weren't in any of them because you only show the finals and you only show the big games. So we needed to change that. We had high expectations, but they didn't match where we were performance-wise. Now the high expectations are still there, but we have had consistent performances over, certainly 3 of the last 4 tournaments, a quarter-final as well in the 4th. So in the end, you have to be always in the latter stages of the tournaments to be able to learn how to win those big games, and we're learning that. We've come through a lot of big nights now, a lot of records that we've broken, but we know in the end we have to do this one. We have to get this trophy to really feel the respect of the rest of the football world, I guess.
Last 4 questions then.
Daniel Ziegler, Sport 1 Israel. Question for Harry. Harry, Spain scored 13 goals and won all their matches. Everyone is talking about Harry being favourite. Do you agree with this statement?
Yeah, look, that's not for me or the players to decide. That's for the media and the guys, the fans to think who are favourites. But no, look, Spain have had a fantastic tournament, so they've probably been the best team consistency-wise throughout the tournament. So they probably earned that right. But as we know, football in one game, anything can happen, and we back ourselves against anyone we play against. And we've been through difficult spells in this tournament, but we've come through the other side, and that builds a tremendous amount of belief and resilience, which is everything you need in a final as well. So we expect a tough game. We're in a European final, so we expect nothing less, and Spain will be difficult tomorrow night.
Question here, which might be in Spanish.
Hola, buenas tardes. Aquí Adrián Albets en directo para el Carrusel Deportivo de la cadena SER. Mi pregunta es para cualquiera de los dos, para Gareth o para Harry. Hoy Lamine Yamal cumple 17 años. No sé qué os dice este dato y que un jugador de esta edad esté jugando mañana una final de Eurocopa siendo protagonista como lo ha sido. ¿Cómo valoran la figura de Lamine Yamal y el hecho de que cumpla hoy 17 años?
Okay, happy birthday to him today. No, he's been a fantastic player. At 17 to do what he's doing on this big stage is obviously a great achievement for him. And he feels, you can see he's playing with no fear and just playing with freedom and enjoying the big occasion. So we know he's a definite threat for tomorrow night. He'll be one of their main players and main threats going forward. So we have to be ready for that. But all I can say is well done to him for his short career so far, but obviously a very good one.
The last few just over there. On the left-hand side.
Hi Gareth, it's me from TRT Sport Veligit. You lost to Germany on penalties in the semi-finals in '96. Your emotional looks after the match, that they are still in our minds, I have to say that. As a coach in 21, you had a huge disappointment against Italy in Wembley. I think you have very different and strong emotions, but maybe try to hide a little bit on your heart. I think so. Let us know your current feelings with all your sincerity and reality.
I couldn't give you my feelings for the last 3 weeks, never mind the last 20 years. So, for me, those difficult nights have taught me that football can change so quickly. The difference between winning and losing is so small. It's given me more perspective in my life, because in the end, there are bigger things than football. that are more important. But football has given me an amazing life, amazing experiences, travel the world, be a part of something I love doing for, nearly 35 years of my life. I couldn't have wished for anything more. To represent my country as a player, and then to be able to lead my country for 8 years as manager has been the biggest privilege I could possibly have. So tomorrow, I don't have any fear of what might happen because I've been through everything. I want the players to feel that fearlessness. I want them to be able to be the best version of themselves, because whatever happens, we're so strong as a group. We support each other. And I think if we're not, I said earlier in the tournament, if we're not afraid to lose, it gives us a better chance of winning. And that's very important for us. So, yeah, I'm personally excited for tomorrow. Looking forward to playing in an amazing stadium. It's been a brilliant tournament. I have to thank everybody here for the way the tournament has been run in Germany. They've put on an amazing event. We've been made very welcome, particularly in the village where we've been staying. Everybody's been wonderful to us. So we're looking forward to this last step now.
Hi Gareth, hi Harry. Joe Rawson, Sky News Radio. Can you take us into the dressing room those 15 minutes before kick-off? What message will you deliver to the squad, particularly to those younger players who are experiencing this moment, like a Kobbie Mainoo for the first time?
Yeah, well, I think, when you're that close to kick-off, obviously after the warm-up, you're kind of just getting ready. Everything's kind of been prepared by then. Everything's been said. I normally have the final word in the huddle before we go out, and at the moment I'm not quite sure what I'll say, but I'll think about that over the next 24 hours and try and get that message right. But ultimately everyone's ready at that stage. You've been waiting a long time, you've been preparing, you've done all the hard work, and now it's just about going out there and executing and enjoying it on the pitch. So even the younger players, a lot of them are fearless, and a lot of them want to just get out there, and they know their best talking is with the ball at their feet, and I'm sure that's what they're looking forward to tomorrow night.
Thank you very much. We'll be back shortly with Luis de la Fuente and Jesus Navas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
England manager Gareth Southgate and captain Harry Kane speaking to the media for the last time before tomorrow's game. Harry Kane saying there's extra hunger and fire in the belly. We've prepared well. Southgate saying, I'm not a believer in fairy tales, but I am a believer in dreams. You have to make things happen. We have to perform. Harry Kane saying, we never take anything for granted. That is the stadium in Berlin where the match will kick off in just over 24 hours' time. There is Sky's Jackie Beltrao and Jackie, both men sounding very measured and I have to say, very confident.
Yeah, very measured. You don't really get much out of these final news conferences on match day -1 as we are. But, it's almost like, well, we're here now. Bring it on. Let's enjoy it. Let's see what happens. And as you said, I'm not a believer in fairy tales. That was in answer to a question from a German journalist who said, Germany won the Euros in England in '96. 28 years ago, is it fate that you're here in the final in Germany today? And he said, I'm a believer in dreams. I'm not a believer in fairy tales. We have to perform at the level that we need to perform. So, of course, it would be a lovely story, but it's in our hands, and our performance is the most important thing. He was also asked about Euro 96 by a Spanish journalist. He said, what do you remember of that match? And he said, I played well, 0-0, defender's dream. We obviously won that game on penalties. Nadal is the player who sticks in my mind from that game, and Nadal being Rafa Nadal's uncle. Maybe Kiko played well as well. Maybe Luis Enrique came off the bench. I remember it was a very tough game, probably a game that Spain should have won. As for Harry Kane, he said football in one game, anything can happen, and we back ourselves against anyone we play against. We've been through difficult spells in this tournament, but we've come through the other side, and that builds a tremendous amount of belief and resilience, which is everything you need in a final as well. So we expect a tough game. We're in a European final. We expect nothing less, and Spain will be difficult tomorrow night. And Gareth Southgate also said something which is so true. You need to play in a few of these big matches at the end of a tournament to know how to win them. And of course, they've had their disappointments from last time round, from playing that Euro 2020 final against Italy and losing on penalties, even though it was played in 2021. And Harry Kane said, we were all heartbroken after that. A lot of us were heartbroken. As always, it's a long journey back to get where we are now. Full credit to the boys for the resilience, and I think that just speaks volumes for the mentality of the squad. There is extra hunger and fire in our bellies to make sure this one goes our way. But we also know it's going to be an extremely tough night. And they will also ask lots of questions about what it would mean to bring the trophy home, to lift the trophy, to win, to finally get to lift a trophy for the first time in 58 years. And if they could do it, it would be the first trophy England have won on foreign soil. Southgate, we know what it would mean to everybody at home. We know what it would mean to us as a squad, the hard work that's gone in, not just this group of players, but players that have been with us for the last 6 or 7 years. And he also paid tribute as well in that quote to the backroom staff, sort of saying we're all in this together. It's, it's not just me, it's not just Harry, it's not just the players. There are so many more people that have been involved in this journey. Kane saying, we're going to give it everything we've got. So, at midnight tomorrow, whenever the game will finish, we will hope to be the team that's bringing the primary trophy to England. So much positivity in that press conference, the last one before they play that final tomorrow night.